The final, everybody, the final best of 5. We have the Heroes Battle Arena, and it is the grand finale. We have Fnatic versus NaVi, and the first map is Cursed Hollow, with an immediate ban on Kel'Thas. Fnatic banning Kel'Thas out. It's quite likely that they're going to try to secure at least that Jaina, since Min is usually running either Kel'Thas or Jaina if they get an opportunity. It's of course not the only two heroes that he can play, but it's definitely the two favorite ones of him. NaVi now with a potential ban on Tyrande here, unless they would really be happy to let Tyrande go through and Fnatic take her. We've seen a bit of a nice twist earlier in the drafts between Kia 5 and Dignitas when ETC was banned out first, and then we saw that Diablo ban to make sure that Tyrande just doesn't have that support. But in this game, no matter what happens, NaVi will actually, they let Tyrande go. And that means that no matter what happens, we have Fnatic with an opportunity to not only take Tyrande, but also try to get the follow-up here. So at this point, of course, if Fnatic picks Tyrande, then it's likely that NaVi is either going into a bit of an Uther play, or they can just simply lock down Muradin plus X, that could be a Jaina, for example, to take a lot of that damage away that Tyrande can get out there. Fnatic would be more or less forced into Diablo, which is, by the way, a hero that NaVi plays a lot these days. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we can really throw around at this point, what the teams could do. In this case, Tyrande is even let go, and Fnatic just says, on this map, False Sight is even more important, and NaVi says immediately, like, alright, if you take False Sight, then it's going to be the burst play for us. We're going to go to Tyrande Muradin. And Fnatic has to either take Jaina now, or have to ban her out, because chances are that NaVi is going to attempt to go straight for that burst combo. Tyrande in particular is extremely strong on the map, since she can also go into PS on level 4, and then try to just, interrupt all the channels on the tributes. Foster, then again, of course, if we're talking about him as a hero, is in a position where he can just use his Mighty Gust to blow everybody away from a certain boss point and just capture it, steal it away, and it's also very, very solid just with the move in on the maps in general that you have that momentum going. And of course, for Fnatic, there's also the risk that NaVi might even go into something like an Abathur to get the double Jaina out there. Not really all too likely, I'd say. It has been quite some time since we've seen that last, but you have so many options right now in the game. I mean, Uther for Fnatic, for example, would be a good choice. They go for it. They can play a Thrall later. They can play a Sonya if they want to. As a frontliner, they have a few choices there as well. As I said, I mean, NaVi really likes to play with that Diablo, and they have played Muradin, Tyrande, Diablo already before, so it's definitely a setup that they could try to use again, especially since when we're talking about Alex, he loves to go into loves to go into Apocalypse again, which is actually something that we already saw from Dignitas. So it's starting to become a little bit more popular to not go into Lightning Breath, but use the Apocalypse maybe with a more setup. That is also another hero that Fnatic could be thinking about right now. On this map, Zagara is very strong, but for Fnatic, there's also, of course, the option to go into a very early melee assassin here. Oftentimes, you see the teams fight over a hero like Thrall or ban him out, so that's something that Fnatic has to consider now, and the entire draft is going to be absolutely incredibly important here. I mean, we're talking about game number 1 in the best of 5 series, so one wrong decision and you can actually lose that game immediately and lose the momentum in the series. A Tassadar is being chosen for Fnatic, and that caters not only to vision on the map, and, it works against a possible Zagara pick. It also gives you, of course, now the opportunity to go still into one of those frontliners. We have seen Zeratul played lately again. So if you want to do that, then having that shield and also taking the Oracle away from your opponent is already a big help. Thrall in this setup would really thrive. And we have a Sonya that has also to be considered when we're talking about these front lines. If you have a Divine Shield and Tassadar, then maybe with the Kala's Embrace on level 7, then this is extremely strong. And there is immediately that Sonya ban as a reaction, because NaVi says, like, hey, we do not want you to get into one of these heroes. It's just way too much. Fnatic will most likely try to go for a Thrall here. The thing is, though, that NaVi is probably going to pick that hero themselves. And that could actually lead in Fnatic saying, well, we know you would pick him, so we ban him. Could happen. Could definitely happen. But that Jaina is still a threat. So NaVi is in a situation where no matter what happens, they will get a very solid setup, at least with the next 2 picks. So Tyrande and Muradin. Thrall is banned out. They do it. Fnatic says, like, yeah, we know you're going to take him, so we don't want to go up against the Thrall, so we ban him out. And now a Jaina is extremely likely for NaVi. The mind games are strong with this one already, and I'm absolutely loving it. So we have a lot of back and forth between the two teams here. Zeratul is still an option. We have seen him a lot in North America. We've seen him in China, and we've also seen him again in Europe. And if you play a Zeratul here, then the Tassadar is going to help, with the Divine Shield, of course, too. But you have other options of what you can choose in this situation. So it's actually a very a very cool setup and also a very flexible one. NaVi in this case is now going for Tyrael. Great on the map, especially after level 16, because he can use Holy Ground to just simply steal a boss away. Falstad is not going to do anything if already that Sanctification is on the ground, so that's another choice that NaVi made to make sure that they can control the map at the later point of the game. So it's really just like a lot of aspects that come into play here, a lot of things that you have to think about in such a situation. And NaVi, well, they still need damage, right? So we could see something along the lines of a Reyna. Zagara is still an option, but then again, you want to have something that has a little bit more on-point damage, and that's where Reyna is very strong, where also the Hyperion can be played. You can use a Vala in this setup. We've seen her already in the last game. She has a bit more lane pressure in general, like she can really go for a multi-shot build that pushes the heroes back, but it is that Zagara. So I personally feel NaVi needs also a bit more follow-up damage to it, and that's where we are talking again about Reyna and Vala, but Zagara is a higher priority for them, gives them the vision on the map. Fnatic is probably going to be very happy at this point that they have Tassadar. NaVi, of course, they knew that, but they said, hey, we still want to play with Zagara here. Let Tassadar use the Oracle. Maybe we can push him into a Mental Acuity on level 4 over the Leeching Plasma. Either way, Zagara is going to give us what we need. There's also the opportunity to go into a Sylvanas then later on. And that's something that Fnatic can consider as well. But first of all, what they need is a frontliner. And they pick a Jaina now. No melee assassins for them anymore. Thrall band, Sonya band. And they just say like, alright, let's leave it at that. They take the Jaina. So they have now the potential for burst. NaVi did let her go, and I suppose that Fnatic at this point was really also a bit afraid that they would still go for it. NaVi just saying from the start, okay, we prioritize these heroes higher, but we know that with Zagara in a more setup, with that, especially of course that stun on Tirana and Muradin, if you get Jaina now as well on top of all of that, it's just going to be way too much. NaVi just saying, we would rather let you take Jaina and we take Zagara than the other way around. Fnatic, on the other hand, now, they have Mena on Jaina. So, guys, like as I said, it is beautiful for me because we have so many mind games happening. Of course, NaVi wants to take Jaina with the setup that they have, but they just want Zagara more. And Fnatic, like, it's all these counter picks that are currently happening. This is an amazing draft, and I'm loving every second. Leoric as the frontliner now taken. That can help you, of course, also a bit of the slow. You could have taken a Johanna, I suppose, in this situation as well. Leoric is pretty cool if you have him at the front line with this much support. I usually don't really like him as a solo supporter, but if you have a Tassadar with the shields and an Uther with the potential Divine Shield and the burst heals, then Leoric can survive for a long time. And if he dies, who cares? He's going to be back after a short while anyways. As already mentioned, as we had Zagara picked, Vala, great hero. It's exactly the hero that we've taken here. Reyna is great, but if you have Vala, you can first of all, of course, use that Frost Shot. If you go for a multi-shot build, you can use an arrow build here. You have that strafe that you can utilize as well, and most importantly of all, you have a lot of wave clear with the hero too. So great draft here, a pretty cool one, a lot of mind games happening, a very, very targeted bans and picks that we see here, and this is going to be a great first game. Cursed Hollow, NaVi versus Fnatic, kicking us off into the finals of the Heroes Battle Arena, powered by Twitch and G2A. I'm loving this draft. I am loving it. It's really cool. This draft is brilliant. The way that they just like started with all of this is very, very sweet. Oh. Somebody got cut off. Okay. Game is about to start. Well, they have to lock the heroes down, but we are getting closer. So yeah. Gonna have some fun here. And I need something new to drink. Yeah, I need to tell them that after the next game I need like a minute to get myself something new. Okay. Excited for this one. What did I put in there? Top L7? No. The elf, my friend. Elf. Top elf. And I need to get some Santa stuff in there. Don't I have a Santa somewhere? Let me actually double check something. Ah, damn it. If I have it, then it's on the other PC. Did I shut that down? No, not quite. Yeah, like with all that stuff that was going on in the last few days and all that action that we had, I didn't really get an opportunity to go for any kind of Christmassy setup here, which is a little bit sad thinking about it. Alright, so give me a second. I actually found something. Okay, so can I get that over there? Alright guys, so where do we have it there? Because the teams are just like setting up their heroes. And no, am I in the wrong one? I'm not. There we go. Santa, how you doing, buddy? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, we're going to see you later. We're going to talk about you later. Now we're going to go into the game. But yeah, we have to turn you around, or you have to, like, play. You can play with that Lunara a little bit, I suppose. So, yeah, come on. There we go. Alrighty, guys. See you in a second in the game. The finals of the Heroes Battle Arena, ladies and gentlemen, they start with NaVi versus Fnatic. A great, great match that we are going to see now. A best-of-5 series, and to the left side it is Tyrael, played by Alex the Frog. We have Tyrande, played by Grand Paquette, Eternal on Vala, Zarmany on Muradin, and Crosby is playing Thagala. To the right side of the map at the same time now, though, we have the setup for Fnatic with Breeze on Leoric, Mane is playing Jaina, Quacknix on Falset, Smexy Style on Uther, and Booby is currently playing here with Tacita. It's actually pretty interesting to see Wooby now play with the team. So just to give you a bit of a background check there, we had, before all of this happened, we had Shat playing with Fnatic for quite some time. And, well, Shat, and then in the end, did apparently not work out. They decided to let him go, and instead they started to play with Sypho. And now we have Wooby in play. And actually, I don't really know at this point if it's just a substitute for today, if Sypho maybe couldn't play, or if they're currently using Wooby as a tryout. Which would be kind of fun, because he was part of Fnatic before, but then, of course, after the team restructured, after Prague, he left the team, he subbed in for a lot of other teams, he went DreamHack, and he was like jumping from team to team to team, always trying to find a team where he would be happy. In this case now, he's currently playing for Fnatic here, so I'm not quite sure if they're going to play with him in the future, but it's actually kind of fun to see him in this setup. We see, for now, of course, in regards to the talents, like the triple Conjurer's Pursuit for Tacita, Uther, and also Jaina in this case. Reanimation for Leoric, and yeah, a nice move by Wooby in the mid lane here, immediately phase shifting away as Zarmany tries to use the Stormbolt to lock him down. Down to the bottom of the map, we have Quacknix going up against Alex, and Alex, as usual, trying to bully the lane. He is an incredible frontline player. And we have for now also with the level 1 talent, as we can see here, Regeneration Master taken for him. In the mid lane, a bit of a fight happening as Smexy Style, Mane and Wooby are attempting to go up against Eternal, Grand Paquette and Zarmany. Grand Paquette with the level 1 Ranger's Mark talent. To the top lane, we see Crosby going up against Breeze. Crosby should be fairly fine here. I mean, as a Zagara, you're usually in a very good spot against an opponent's hero. Yes, of course, Leoric can be quite annoying to deal with as well. But one of the few heroes that can really just like push a Zagara back is, for example, a Chen. Because he can just like use his straight the entire time, jump in her face quite literally, and do a lot of damage there. We have besides this a multi-shot build for Vala with a composite arrow, at least so far. I mean, it could be one of the hybrids builds that we've seen earlier already, but normally these days you go into a very crisp multi-shot build. Level 2 or 2 minutes in the game, we are now seeing the team starting to go straight for the mercenary camps. In this case, it is the Siege Giant camp to the right side of the map that they're aiming for. The level 4 talent, slightly faster now for NaVi. And NaVi, with that victory against Dignitas already. They won with a 3-1 yesterday in those semifinals, which was actually very, very impressive. NaVi in general is looking incredibly powerful these days. And they have already won a few series against Fnatic recently. If I'm not mistaken, they're 2-0 in best of 3s, but I might have missed one. So yeah, so they look very strong. But this is of course one of those finals, and like this is a completely different ballgame right now. The first tribute is on the map, and we have Mental Acuity now on level 4 for Tacita for the extra vision, which is going to make Yasagara's life a little bit more difficult. So she of course is going to try to get the vision with the creep tumors. The push at the bot lane is already indicating that NaVi is completely fine letting the tribute go. The Owl is making its way up to the top, but Mane already channeled the tribute, and therefore tribute number 1 in favor of Team Fnatic. Fnatic here going up against the level 4 talent for Tyrande, which allows her to just like pierce through those targets and hit the channeling hero no matter what. So you can't catch an Owl for her, that's not gonna happen. And the Owl actually is already starting to do a fair amount of damage, so pretty nice moves here by Grand Paquette, hitting one after another. For Alex, we see as the level 4 talent, Amplified Healing, combos quite perfectly if you have the Regeneration Master on level 1. Arsenal taken now, and we see with Thunderburn and Reverberation an auto-attack slow build, so to say, which is especially cool against Falstad in the later stages. And as Falstad went for Seasoned Marksman into Power Throw, it's of course one of those heroes that during the course of the game is going to become even more powerful. For now, we are seeing also with the level 7 talent already being used, these Searing Arrows or Searing Attacks as they're called for Vala, which is going to be pretty great for her as well once that she moves in. Not only useful during the fights, but also if you just want to burst the structure down at some point, it's definitely something that you can rely upon. Again, a similar play. Zarmany is waiting for anybody that would move in to take that tribute, but it could be that they actually let it go. Nah, Fnatic, they still want that. Kala's Embrace on 7 for Tassadar to help out with the support. Endless creep for Zagara, so really trying to just get that vision on the map. Here comes the move in against Whoopi, stun into stun. Good job, but Whoopi gets away. Quacknix already flew in and was trying to make sure that he can assist a bit. Grand Paquette put into a corner quite literally. Tyrande not looking good here. Breeze is going to move in as well. Grand Paquette with a dodge on the Hammerang. He is still alive, but Quacknix is now moving in, is trying to take him down. I cannot believe that he is still not dead, and he gets away. Grand Paquette with the jukes to the left, the jukes to the right, dodges one spell after another, and is finally able to get out of there and moves up to the top to just heal himself once again. The well is up. Breeze is also moving in now with the Leoric, gets taken down as the Eternal is flanking him. The Tribute is still in game. Level 8 versus level 7. The first kill against Leoric here, and Zarmany with the attempted channel, but now they're going again for Whoopi. What a fight for the second tribute here. Both of them committing so heavily to this, and it's looking really, really good now as Breeze comes back. A pretty fun action scenario here already in the game. Only 5 minutes in. Grand Paquette still in position, starting to rotate towards the tribute again. Can of course use that piercing owl to just once again channel a potential tribute for the opponent's team. So they're starting to move in with this. Breeze and Smexy style attempting to get the second one for Fnatic, but once again stunned out. Vala is in the mid lane. They're starting to go for an experience lead, and they successfully do exactly that because they just like soak those lanes quite nicely. That's also why we see Whoopi down here. And here's the commitment from Navi. They move in a little bit deeper. Have of course that Hydra always that Crosby can just like send out to do more damage. Level 9 versus level 8. Again, the roaches. Zagara is a pest at this point. Like, she is really bugging Smexy style here. Quite literally, actually, at that. And, of course, again, the wall being attacked here. Eternal in play. Here comes Breeze. He goes deep with the Wraith Walk. Not quite there. And again, the stun against Uther. They just don't let that one go, are they? Nope, they're not letting it go at all. Yeah, they go again for Smexy style. Like every time there's somebody here, but Fnatic is looking really solid right now. And they already dropped a lot of these heroes low. But Quacknix has now eaten a lot of damage as well. And we see again Navi starting to rotate around a bit. Nice damage against Quacknix over here. The channel is happening, Smexy style. Does Tyrande have the owl ready? Doesn't look like it. Nope, there's nothing. There's the stun. Grand Paquette had to go very far in for it though. And here comes the kill against Mane. He overextended slightly because he wanted to take Grand Paquette down. Now they have to give the tribute up. Level 10 is nearly there. Great kill against Tassadar. Grand Paquette goes in and predicts the stun against Tassadar. Good job. And level 10, of course, is now ready for them. And that means more Strafe, Shadowstalk, Avatar. And I suppose we're going to see the Sanctification unless Tyrael really wants to go balls deep with the Judgment, which we rarely see these days. Which would be awesome, don't get me wrong. But on this map here in particular, with all those boss fights, usually you still have Sanctification chosen. So great play here by Navi, and they are now nearly a level ahead. Of course, they bursted through that wall in the mid lane now too. But yeah, this is a really fun game that we're seeing here. I'm loving it. As you can see, we have in this case now also with the level 7 talents, Tyrande after level 4 Pierce going straight into the Lunar Blaze. A boss is being attacked. Yeah, the other level 10 helped them with it. Crosby just barely dodging that stun there. That would have hurt and hurt quite a bit. But they go for boss and it looks like they can take it. If Eternal also goes now for the Searing attacks, so the Searing arrows, which he did, they should be able to burst it down. But here comes the move on the side of Fnatic. They're starting to move in. Navi, they claim it though, and it's a little bit too late for Fnatic. They have, by the way, Entomb on Leoric. Even as the solo tank, he is going into Entomb and does not take much of the Black King, which is the standard talent for Europe. In China and also in North America, Entomb is more often chosen. It's actually like chosen in nearly every single game. So Entomb is like the predominant talent. For now, we have once again also the Uther with the Divine Shield here. More, there we have it. More being used straight away. Mighty Gust as well. They're going in again and they're going against Smexy and Smexy is dying. He's down. Another kill for Navi. They have 4 kills against 0 and they go in for the next one as Whoopi is trying to dash away here, but he already used his dimensional shift. They go for Leoric. Breeze on the move back. Tassadar dying. Falstad flying in, trying to at least secure the tribute. Quacknix with a pretty sweet move. Tyrande has the owl. He repositions himself once that it appears on the map, realizes that he doesn't have enough time to take it, so Quacknix is now on the move back. Great play here. That was a very smart idea, actually, by Falstad. He knew that they couldn't do anything at the bot lane, so he was just trying to get at least the tribute, but NaVi immediately reacting and making sure that that wouldn't happen. So Fnatic with a very good idea here, but they are far behind now. It's 5 kills against 0 against them, and the level 30 talent that we are seeing any second now for NaVi is, of course, going to make the blue team even stronger. This is a great setup for them. You have also now the force wall being used. Leoric is very, very low already. They went for camp, and Breeze has to move back now. Camps taken all over the place. Eternal and Crosby, they took one of those bruiser camps, and at the same time the mercenary camp up to the top lane, the siege giant camp, was claimed as well. So NaVi pushes 2 of the lanes now. We're seeing them with the overflowing light on level 13 with the frost shot for Vala, continuing the multi-shot build, and we see Thunderburn or Thunderstrike taken on level 13 for the extra damage against the isolated targets. Mutalisk and Imposing Will are the talents that we are seeing for the rest of the team, and of course Fnatic is going to try and just close the gap in experience to hit level 13 as well, because at this point every fight that starts is going to put them at a disadvantage, and unfortunately for them that happens right now up at the top lane, where we see another cursed tribute spawning. And this one could curse Fnatic, so they're desperately trying to get the level 13 talent, maybe interrupt, but I don't think they have a chance of making that happen. The Owl already scouted everything out, and this is the curse against Fnatic, and NaVi is going to try and capitalize on that as much as they possibly can. And that means for them now at the top lane fight, where they are trying to commit, they have already, oh look at that, Falstad was forced into a Mighty Gust since he saw the rest of the team rotating around. That fort of course is going to be forfeit, and we have the level 13 talents now for Fnatic, which puts them into a position where they can now take also on Mene again. Oh, good kill against Vala here. Vala taken out, isolated and eliminated. But Mene, as I said, he took now Icy Veins. That will help them with the cooldown reduction during the fight, so even a bit more burst damage during a battle that he can use. The rotation to the top, they're trying to intercept Zarmany and Alex, and both of them are still there. Alex, he went into Sanctification, of course, can use that, moves away. Zarmany is able to escape because of it. He was actually like hiding in that bush, but Alex is still not safe. Zarmany to the left has been found now. He's trying to hit that Stormbolt against Uther. Alex jumping away again, or trying to. He has the barrier on the other hand, but Alex, nice, he can escape, and now Zarmany is jumping away as well. So a lot of time wasted by Fnatic trying to take down one of these 2 heroes, but the 2 of them working together quite nicely and able to escape in the end, using their talents wisely at the same time to make sure that there's no chance for Fnatic to lock them down. Shrink Ray now being used. We have also the Giant Killer as a follow-up for the auto attack build that Falstad is trying to use here. And Leoric is going into the Burning Rage. Burning Rage on one of the tanks is basically the counter that you have in the game against all those creep tumors. It's not only the Tacita that they try to rely upon, but at the same time the Burning Rage is going to help them to detect the creep tumors quite easily once that, of course, Leoric moves in. The important thing to note is, if you're a bit of a newer player in Heroes of the Storm, is that you can't use that while you are mounted up. When you're mounted up, you don't do any damage, so you can't detect these creep tumors. You have to actually demount before, with Burning Rage, you can put like damage onto the creep tumors, and then you can take them down with another auto attack. For now, at the bot lane, we have level 15 versus level 15, just a few seconds. 5 kills against 1. They try to take a few of the towers down, and they are closing in on level 16. NaVi is playing a strong game here. Whoopi on his Tacita is in the middle of the map. He wants to make sure that they are not falling too far behind. In this case now, he's actually just moving away because he realizes that Alex is already on the case and trying to hunt him down. But he can just move up to the top and continue the experience soak there, which is why Tyrael is starting the rotation to the top as well. The rest of the team just attempting to hit that earlier 16. And I feel at this point the only thing that NaVi can really do once they hit 16 is maybe go for a boss. The threat is there that Falstad is trying to use the Mighty Gust, but Alex has Sanctification and Holy Ground, 2 talents that he can choose for that. Oh, they get Whoopi now though. Oh, that was a good kill. Yeah, great kill here, perfect timing. They have the level 16 talent and they can go for boss at the same time. Here's Maxi Style, Breeze and Mena, they're trying to rotate in. And this is of course with the 16 talents. Ranger taken on Tyrande, Blood for Blood on Vala, Stone Foam. You have the Brute Expansion and the Holy Ground. And they are going to use all of that. Falstad doesn't even bother to move in because he already knows that there's absolutely no way that he's going to be able to take this against Tyrael, especially the way that NaVi was guarding that particular spot. Down to the bot lane, we have now Falstad again in position. The Owl should fly, and there it is. And Quacknix has to let it go again. He's probably not really happy about this. We have renewed swing now. We are seeing the Northern Exposure, Hammer Time, Benediction, and also the Dimensional Warp. Another boss is being attacked. And, well, Fnatic, they just have to play the defensive game. They can't take the tribute, they can't contest the boss because they have to deal with the one at the top lane. We are 14 minutes into the match, and that means that this one could put some serious damage onto the keep, if not contested, if Tacita isn't able to just shield. And now, of course, again that lead in EXP for NaVi. But, no talent lead. That's kind of important here now. The boss is going to push the bot lane. They have a tribute versus a tribute, but we still see the same talents, and this is now the time that Fnatic is going to choose to try and fight. Of course, they have to be careful about that boss pushing. If that boss stuns one of their members out and then there's a follow-up to drop him, then they find themselves again in the 4 vs 5. But this is a nice chance for them. Mighty Gust after Entomb, and Crosby is barely getting out of there. Yes, nice chasing here with Eternal using Strafe and of course pushing the opponent away. But that idea was really, really smart. Using Entomb, Mighty Gust right after that. Crosby nearly dropped, but they keep him alive just long enough so that he can escape here. And now they go straight in again. I love that move from Fnatic, but I also love how NaVi reacted to it and was able to keep Crosby alive. Now, of course, the keep has fallen, the boss went through, and NaVi is just rotating away again. But that was absolutely beautiful. And it was a great move from Breeze as well. I mean, seeing the opportunity to use the Entomb there and actually dropping that in time, Cigar was I mean, yeah, well, calling her out of position would be a bit bold, I feel. She was just like barely at the front, and Breeze just saw, okay, I got a chance there, and he used that right away. Now the fight for the tribute is starting, and I suppose that they're going to try to buy as much time as they can. They are not so low in mana yet, so they could actually really try to fight for it, but they let it go. Apparently they don't really want to go for any kind of battle now that they have the lead here. They go in the mid lane and start to burst those waves down, and as you can see, we have up at the top lane already here the move with Falstad flying in and trying to protect it. I guess the main reason why they didn't really go for a battle is that they were a bit afraid about the more that they didn't have and said, hey, we need this disengage if things go south, or at least as a bit of a setup here. So with the heroic abilities and everything else not really being perfectly in their favor, they just say, okay, let's not risk anything. We are already in head experience. We don't really have to do this now. So give them the tribute. It's only the second one, and we are going to try and soak as much XP as we can and put a bit more pressure on the lanes by taking just all of those minions. The thing is, if you lose the fight there, then that would have been a big turnaround, I suppose, and they weren't forced into it just yet. They didn't like their position, so they played smart. Zarmany, yeah, he's hopping, and here comes the Shadow Stalk, but he gets it. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, he should get away. Cooldown should be ready in just a bit. So a lot of heroics actually secured for this one. 2 heroics, Entomb and also Mighty Gust. Force Wall, of course, as well, but Force Wall doesn't simply count because a 12-second cooldown is nothing. 19 versus 18, yeah, well, that is a cursed tribute, so Fnatic will try to take it, and NaVi has to react to it if they really want to make sure they don't get cursed here. And for Fnatic, this is a great opportunity, actually. Yes, they still have, of course, a cooldown on 2 of their rogue abilities, but they can force a fight now or get an advantage, and both are going to be fine with them because after level 20, they are going to be very... Oh, we actually have a bit of a lag server problem maybe today once again. We already had an issue a bit earlier. We see Alex jumping in. The attempt for the reconnect is successful. The game is resumed, but the pause as Whoopi leaves the game, and the players, of course, also commenting on it right away. The position here that we have, Alex already annoyed by it. Dude, we saw that it happen quite often in the last game, so this is the first time that it happens here. It's not that bad. We have actually the position here. Everybody here to the right side. There's already still that holy ground. And, well, at the same time, we are seeing a bit of an idea of what's going on with this one. Alex a little bit whiny today. That's usually not the case here. Okay, so apparently leaves the game there too. Ooh, yeah, okay, but yeah, we have a lag spike for them. I mean, they are actually still in a decentish spot. I mean, Jaina's currently getting the damage in. Everybody else is at the same time pushed to the right. Heroic abilities are still active. Shadowstalk is back in 5 seconds. We're having Entomb down. It's not like too bad. I mean, it could be worse, to be honest. Tyrell jumped back and is still at the front. Crosby has to get out of there. I guess he's probably going to be the hero that is in the most trouble now if the rest commits. But Mena is also quite exposed, so I'm not quite sure which direction Zarmany is headed, but it looks like he could try and go in against Jaina. As is, though, talking damage in the game, giving you a bit of an update here. I mean, you can see it already. The only kill was against Vala on the side of Fnatic. NaVi is looking quite strong with that 1-level lead that they have. It doesn't really give them a massive advantage. It's a small stat advantage that they have, but once they reach level 20, it's a different game. That being said, a bit of an update here on the talents, of course, as well, in case you haven't seen it before. With the level 16 talent, the Renewed Swing came into play for Breeze, who, of course, went into the Ghastly Reach on level 7. We're seeing the Hammer Time now, which is a pretty cool talent to take here. Quacknix and Breeze currently to the right side, a bit split from the rest of the team. We're seeing Benediction on 16, and there's the Dimensional Warp now. There's a bit of banter going on between the players here, as you can already tell, but besides that, seems to be still reconnects happening. Oh, well, there we go. So I was just about to... Okay. I'm not quite sure what he wants to do, because, yeah, we kind of can go. That's the whole purpose here. So we have in this position already the two Siege Giants up at the top. We're seeing in the mid lane also another... Yeah, well, there's a bit of a push going. I mean, on the minimap, you can tell that there is still, like, a camp. But it's only like the mage that is still there. So that's about it. Don't kill him. Well, Crosby's still here. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know how long that holy ground is going to last. But right now, they should not be able to get through. Main already used the blizzard. So Crosby is in position. We could see a heal and maybe even the protective shield from Tyrande. So they're going to move back in this one. The lag affected everybody the same, so it's not like only one of these boys had the lag and ended up in a bad position because of it. But yeah, Tyrael, I guess, has maybe the shields and cooldown. Not quite sure about that. 19 versus 18. Remake. Yeah, but that's not going to happen. So yeah, that would actually be a very, very long best of 5 if we would have a remake every single time we have server problems today, because that was already a theme in the first best of 5 that we had. Yep, level 18 versus 19, as we said, and I guess the players have to come to some sort of arrangement at some point, or just simply ask the admin, and I guess the solution is going to be in the end to just simply go for a countdown and then try to get Zarmany out of there. We have no Ring of Frost, by the way, used yet, so that could help Mena to lock down Zagara. So that could actually work. Tacita, I guess Tacita is also still the Force Wall ready, so if he isolates Crosby now from the rest of the team with the Force Wall, that would of course be very annoying. Then again, Zagara can use her more, so that's another thing that she has going for herself, and Tyrael can use the Sanctification. It's of course something where you have to start to really commit a couple of your heroic abilities, but it's not like Zagara cannot be saved here. It's unfortunate, of course, that a lag like this occurs in the first place, and that it occurs at exactly this moment in time when everybody else is going for the tribute, makes matters even worse. But yeah, you can make a couple of plays here. Or you can just, of course, come to some kind of agreement where everybody says, like, okay, we're all moving away, nobody attacks anybody, and then we're going to go in again. So, yeah. Quacknix is asking the important questions right now. So how do we do this? That's a very, very good question, because right now they have to either find a solution or just go for it. I mean, one of the two. Everybody seems to be in the game again. I suppose that Tyrael is going to turn into Alex, since he was typing the entire time. Once that it's unpaused, everybody else seems to be in here as well. But yeah, besides that, we have, by the way, down to the bot lane still only one Siege Giant. So if you spotted that on the map and you were worried about like what's going on there, it's only one Siege Giant. The catapults are, of course, in place since that keep got taken down a bit earlier. And in this case, they're just going straight to the right side. So the Siege Giant is going to fall. Okay, so Infernal is still discussing this a bit. Don't kill Cross, and we can go, well, she is very exposed. I still think you can save her, but as I said before, you have to sacrifice a couple of heroic abilities for it to make it happen, with Sanctification, with more that you can use. So there's a bit of a discussion going on there. So far, Fnatic hasn't actually said anything about it. I suppose they're pretty happy with the spot that they're in right now. It's not too bad, but if Wooby hits a good Force Wall, isolates Zagara, Mena hits the Ring of Frost, and Zagara will be in a lot of trouble. It's not like she has level 20 and can just simply bolt to the other side. So that's not going to work. And I also think that the holy ground that we're actually seeing still here is about to disappear. So that shouldn't really become a safety net for Zagara. Eternal's question is not answered. That kind of lets me to believe that we might have currently a discussion happening with the admin. Top lane, well, I don't think they can do too much there. Mena's already like talking about this as well now. I'm a little bit curious to see what they're going to do. Maybe they talk to the admin at the same time and are making sure that everything is fine here. But okay, so basically they go, okay, you back up to the bush, we back up to that, and then we can start from there. it's fine with me. I mean, either way, this game had at some point to resume. Okay, so they go for a reset for the fight. So it took a little bit longer than expected, but eventually we actually had a solution. Fnatic is fine doing that. And Mena is threatening that if they disagree and don't fight and soak until 20, he's not going to buy pizza. So usually he threatens with McFlurries, which is of course also a big threat here, but it's about pizzas today. So going to be a resume. They're just going to move back and they're going to go straight in again. Okay, so don't make it more complicated than it is, boys. Just move back and go for it. Unpause. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Thank you. Should have done that earlier. Everybody moves away. Okay, wasn't that bad, and now we go in again. So at this point, everybody is back in the game, and here comes Zarmany jumping out, the force wall hitting, and yeah, everybody seems to be fine again, everybody's happy, cooldowns are all off. Kasa is going to have his force wall back in just a second, and let's see who's going to take the tribute. Mene with a flank, once again, Breeze actually a bit blocked, they go for Crosby again, Zarmany moving in, Shadowstalk already in play, and here is that holy ground once more as Smexy, oh nice, Entomb once again, and no cooldown for Zarmany, it eats a lot of damage, it's not taken out though, Breeze is being healed as he's attempting to move away now, gets shielded as well, Wraith Walk is bringing him out of this position, and up to the top we are still seeing Mene on his money pick, riding in style here and trying to secure of course the triple with his team, but Fawcett had to move back since the Siege Giants put solid damage already at the top keep. The position for Navi therefore a bit better now, and they can go for the kill against Tassadar, but he shifts away just before that stun hits him. So they zone as much as they can for Grand Paquete, and it is tribute number 2 for Navi. Fnatic lets it go. It's 2 tributes against 2 tributes now, so they just decide to not really head in and try to take it. They were already in a pretty bad spot there, and with Falstad force back, was very little that they could do there. They could have tried to go for a Mighty Gust and something along those lines, maybe with a Ring of Frost and zoning them out, but it would of course been a very big risk. 6 kills against 1 in the game, and now we have level 20 just around the corner for Team Navi. Alex is already out on the map again. They have a lot of creep tumors here too that he's trying to maintain, since of course those fights for the boss are going to be the next big step in the match. And if Fnatic is getting a boss, if they are able to get one, then it would be a much bigger deal here. But so far it doesn't really look like this is going to happen anytime soon. We see still Fnatic starting to move around. Quacknix is going for the whistle. Chose the wrong color though. No carry pigeon. The white skin of course, known as the carry pigeon. First of all it looks like a pigeon, and of course Forster is also a bit of a carry, so the carry pigeon is coming in play. I absolutely love that thing. Bought that for myself when the sale was on. Haven't used it yet, but have to do that soon. Double Bolt of the Storm. Hunter's Swiftness has also been taken now. And of course the Hardened Shield plus the Rewind for Muradin. No Hardened Shield for him. And there we go. Where's Falstad? Where's the bird? Well, it's a bit too late. Not even going for it, because at this point they're just saying like, yeah, Holy Ground is going to screw with it too much. There is the attempt to go for the tribute, and it's going to happen. No, it's not, and he's slowed down. Quacknix is slowed. He might actually fall there, might have to use the Mighty Gust, but there's already too much happening. Repositions himself, tries to escape. Here comes the Maw. Better safe than sorry. They have to move over, and the stun is eliminating him. The kill against Falstad, they were trying to go for the curse. Now it is a curse against Fnatic, and the second boss is taken as the rest of the team is up at the top lane trying to defend the keep. But this is of course absolutely, I mean there's no way of this happening. And now with them also not wasting time but being forced to go down to the bot lane and try to contest this one, they find themselves in a really shitty spot. I mean, yes, Tassadar might be able to cover the retreat. Bunny hop by Zarmany, goes for the rewind. Hop, hop, you little dwarf. And tries to go for the kill, but they isolate now Vala, and that's a kill in favor of Fnatic. Once again, we are seeing Alex moving in. Level 20 talents now as well. The boss is already on the move. There's no keep at the bot lane. The boss at the top has already dropped a few hit points off the core. Breeze moves in, tries to kill Grand Paquete. I'm not quite sure if that's going to happen, but I can tell you another thing. The boss, and especially the second one, is going to eliminate core now. Breeze dies, Tyrande lives, and this is going to be the end. Navi, they take game 1 in the best of 5 series here at the Heroes Battle Arena Grand Final against Fnatic. Alrighty, so our little Santa is still poking Tyrande.